Welcome back. Still had Factor 91.3 Nigeria Info and Heron Port Harcourt. I'm Dio. 12 minutes come past 5 p.m. Conversation continues. Many thanks for staying tuned. And the matter we're discussing right now, it appears there are indications that ASUU might be gunning for yet another industrial action. However, is another ASUU strike advisable or is it inevitable? There's another related matters we're discussing right now, but story here cut to the Punch newspaper. ASUU threatens fresh strike, gives FG Tuesday ultimatum. Here's the story. ASUU has expressed its readiness to embark on another round of industrial action following what it called the failure of the federal government to implement an agreement signed with the union. The union is giving the government a month end, Tuesday, tomorrow by the way, to reach out or it will activate the procedure of embarking on strike. Union's president, Professor Emmanuel Osedeke, who disclosed this in an interview on Sunday, added that the FG no longer picked its course. Recall that in March 2020, ASUU embarked on a strike following its disagreement with FG over the funding of universities and the ineffectiveness and discrepancies around the integrated payroll and personal information systems and others. ASUU did develop the University Transparency and Accountability Solution to replace IPIS, had several meetings with the Ministries of Finance, Education, Labour and Employment and Office of the Accountant General of the Federation before it was approved but yet to be implemented. Likewise, the FG and ASUU signed an agreement aimed at resolving some of the demands of ASUU, a development that led to the suspension of the strike on December 24, 2020. In addition, after the meeting with the FG on August 2, 2021, Osedeke said the Nigeria Information Technology and Development Agency insisted that UTAS must be represented to the end users. Also at the meeting, Minister of Labour and Employment Chris Ngige assured ASUU that a 22 billion naira end allowance captured in the 2021 supplementary budget would soon be accessed by university workers. On the contrary, Osedeke told correspondents on Sunday that the FG had stopped reaching out to ASUU and failed to implement the agreement reached. He said, quote, "The government has refused to reach out to us. Government officials have stopped. In fact, they don't take our calls again. Nigerians should tell the government to do what they agreed to do. We signed an agreement and even in May, we reached a final agreement. This is August and nothing has been implemented. Does it make any sense? We are giving them till the end of August and after that, we start the procedures." Once again, is another ASUU strike advisable or is it inevitable? There is another matters we're discussing. My guest is John B. Varfon. Dr. UD Chima is chairman of ASUU at the University of Port Harcourt. Dr. Chima, good evening to you. You're welcome to the show.
Yeah, good evening, Dario.
So I will repeat the question that I asked earlier on. Is another ASUU strike advisable or is it inevitable?
Anyway, it could be averted. It all depends on the government. You know, like our president had just informed earlier, before the suspension of the strike in December 2020, there was an agreement reached. And of course, the truth of the matter remains that as I speak with you, government hasn't done anything satisfactory or reasonable to implement the agreement you reached with the union. There was, since January, after the suspension of the strike in December, the union had tried to engage government. Of course, part of the agreement was that both parties would have met in May to evaluate the extent of the implementation of the agreement, but that couldn't hold until the 2nd of August. And in that meeting on the 2nd of August, government agreed that it was going to, do certain things. For instance, the revitalization fund, another tranche was due in May. The government promised in that meeting earlier this month that another tranche of 30 billion will be released by the end of this August. Now, like you also pointed out, IPs is a problem. It's a problem because every month they keep omitting the salaries of our members as I speak with you, some of our members are being owed up to 6 months' salary and above. And all efforts to get them to correct it, has not yielded any fruitful result. In fact, the operators of IPs are trying to coerce our members, to join IPs as the only solution. Of course, as you also mentioned, UTAS, the part of the agreement was that the university staff will be excluded from EPs. UTAS has not been adopted, despite the fact that they have concluded the NIDA has included all the stages of integrity test. After that meeting in early August, they said that there must be end users workshop, and of course our union has also done that on the 10th. The information we are getting now is that instead of adopting the UTAS, the operators of IPs, they are already organizing another workshop this week for the people who also attended that same workshop, which shows willingness on their own part, to adopt UTAS. The EAA is also there. Another tranche was due in May. Another tranche of 25 billion naira.
For what?
But that hasn't. Hello.
25 billion for what?
No, and academic allowance.
Okay.
Yes, another tranche of 25 billion naira was due in May. That hasn't been released. During that meeting, early August, they also promised that it will be released by the end of this August. As I speak with you, that hasn't been done. Another issue is the mainstreaming of EAA. We were told that that was captured in the supplementary budget that was approved a month or two ago, about 21 billion naira. In that meeting that the president talked about, they said that will be released, by the end of this month. Our members are being owed promotion arrears because of this EP since for up to 2 years, especially those who were promoted, to the professorial cadre. Renegotiation of the 2009 agreement is also another issue, which was due since 2012, because part of that agreement was that the agreement will be due for renegotiation in 2012. All these things haven't been done. Like you asked, the position of our union, because at the last National Executive Council meeting, which held, from 14th to 15th of this month, we evaluated the extent of implementation of the agreement, the memorandum of action before the suspension of the strike last year, and saw that government has not done anything satisfactory. Of course, at that meeting, our members were calling, for an action, a strike action. But we said no, since government has taken till the end of August, let's give them that benefit of the doubt. So it was agreed that if by tomorrow, the 31st of August, government hasn't done what it's supposed to do, our union will, activate the process of embarking on a total, comprehensive, and indefinite strike.
All right, Dr. Chima, this is an all too familiar storyline. ASUU comes out to say that government has not fulfilled elements of agreement it entered into with ASUU. And then ASUU gives stunning warnings, issues warnings or threats of a strike. Government does not listen. Government officials not picking ASUU's calls is not surprising. It's also a familiar storyline. ASUU will threaten, eventually embark on that strike, and then meetings will be called, and eventually government will listen, government will call for meetings, and then we might have episodes of people storming out of the meetings because one minister came late or kept people waiting for hours on end, and that will be explained away afterwards. People will be called back to Abuja to the round table. Meetings will go span to late into the night, and then a few days or weeks, depends, will go by, or possibly even months, and then we hear that finally a fresh round of agreements have been reached, and ASUU will explain to us how we are all partners in progress, and we don't want to fight the federal government, but we are believing that this time around they will implement what they say they've implemented. Nigerians should also talk to government to implement this. We hereby call on our members to resume work from Monday next week, and then that happens till the next scenario, as we're witnessing right now, will play out again. Yes, Dr. Chima, did you hear my narrative thus far?
Yes.
So how is this, if in any way it is at all different from all the other, from the narrative I just reeled out a short while ago?
Anyway, I think government should be blamed as far as this is concerned, because it is government that ASUU does not like embarking on strike in the first instance. You know, we do a lot of things, like since the last strike, we've written a lot of letters. We've also tried to engage government to come to the negotiating table. And you know, when ASUU goes on strike, you know, the whole public will be on ASUU, as if ASUU is a problem. You know, leaving government alone, we should be responsible enough to honor agreement that is entered into, you know, with the unions. Look at the resident doctors; they also on strike now, and these things continue that way. I don't think that the blame should, you know, come to us, because every time when ASUU goes on strike now, everybody will be talking as if ASUU is going on strike because of its unselfish ends. But the truth of the matter remains that without ASUU struggles, you won't have anything left, you know, in the public university system today. If you come to the University of Port Harcourt, for instance, all that we see standing today in terms of infrastructure is as a result of ASUU struggles. If you remove, you know, buildings, you know, that were funded by other third fund or business assessment, you wouldn't have anything left. I think what you are trying to advise this time is that, you know, and we're going to take it that once we embark on this strike, that we should, you know, remain until all the terms of the agreement, you know, are fulfilled. But like you also said, you were asking whether it could be averted or is it inevitable. I still believe that government still has time, you know, to do something in order to avert the strike.
All right. Via Facebook, thank God October goes, ASUU should be ashamed of themselves. Tomorrow, federal government will call ASUU to negotiate with them without reaching final conclusions. The strike will be called off. Via WhatsApp, I've got some comments here as well. Okay, not here. No, okay. Okay, I'll reach out. I'll get to those as soon as I'm able to do that. But if no, not to you. I can take a call or so before commercial break. 0817 923 0002 or 0003 or 0007. We've got headlines coming up 5:30 p.m. as well. But for the moment, 0817 923 0002 or 0003 or 0007. I think I can take one call at least before I go for a commercial break. But via Facebook as well, Benson Okorie goes, go on strike. That's the language they understand. Anthony Montana says they should go on strike. All right, Dr. Chima, does ASUU have any guarantees that even this latest round of strikes you might be embarking on, it don't seem inevitable, by the way, considering that the deadline is tomorrow? So I'd like for you to explain that. When you say the deadline is tomorrow, is ASUU embarking on a strike tomorrow? Will the strike be later this week, or will it be next week?
Anyway, Dayo, you know, for ASUU to embark on a strike, a process is involved. After tomorrow, if the union, the leadership of the union at the national will have to reach out to the branches.
Dr. Chima, pardon me. I must go on a commercial break right now. So when we return from the break, you give a response to this question.
It's okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Stick around. Hard Facts does return shortly.
Headline News, Nigeria Info on
92.3.
Headline News.
Thanks, staying tuned. Here are the headlines. Manager of attacked cargo boat in Borno refutes reports by Defense Headquarters their boat was carrying illegally refined petroleum products. Chief Justice of Nigeria, Tanke Mohammed, summons Chief Judges of Rivers, Kebbi, Cross River, Anambra, Jigawa, Imo State over conflicting court orders. Residents of Owerri, Imo State capital observe weekly sit-at-home IPOB order. Plateau State Governor Samuel Lalong relaxes curfew. ICRC says Nigeria accounts for more than half of total number of missing persons in Africa. ASUU threatens fresh strike. On a foreign scene, U.S. drone strike near Kabul airport kills 10 members of one family, including 6 children. In business, residents warned against stockpiling cooking gas over recent hike. At sports, Cristiano Ronaldo completes his Manchester United medical as he closes on return to his former club. And those are the headlines. Details at 6 p.m. Contact our newsroom on 0818 90017. For more stories, visit www.nigeriainfo.fm. Thanks for listening. I'm Adedayo Elusakin. Good evening.
We give the facts.
News entirely.
We give the evidence. Just to keep you informed.
News, weather. I get my information top of the hour every hour.
92.3 Nigeria Info.
Information is a two-way thing. Nigeria Info, it's your turn. Let's talk.
And now, hard facts. Hard facts with Dio.
Welcome back. Still had Factor 91.3 Nigeria Info here in Budharkot. I'm Dio. ASUU threatens fresh strike, gives FG Tuesday ultimatum. Story from the Punch newspaper. My guest has joined me via phone. Dr. Chima is chairman ASUU at UNIPORT. Dr. Chima, you're welcome back.
Yeah, thank you very much, Dio.
So before the break, I asked the question. ASUU is giving the federal government a Tuesday ultimatum, and you said that for even if your union were going to embark on a strike, there's a process. You were describing that process before we had to go for the break. So from Tuesday, what's likely going to happen?
Anyway, like I was trying to explain, I can't tell you whether the strike will commence, as from Wednesday or next week or in a month's time or so. ASUU is a democratic union, and like I told you, it's a process which has to be activated by the principal officers of our union. And of course, when that is done, there will be discussions at the branch level. All the branches will meet. And of course, there will be a referendum in each of the branches. After that, there will be a National Executive Council meeting where the results of such referendum will be collected. And of course, the popular opinion, will have the day. So what the union is saying is that if government fails, to beat tomorrow's deadline, that the process, will be activated.
Let's take a few calls right now. Join the conversation. The lines are open once again. 0817 923 0002 or 0003. 0817 923 0007 as well. Join the conversation, comments or questions, and please do go straight to your comments or questions once the call is taken. We are live on facebook.com/Nigeria Info PH as well. And also, via WhatsApp once again on 0809-030-6416. Got some comments via WhatsApp. ASUU again, from what I can see, all the money your guest is reading out, more for personal and has nothing to do with the infrastructural development or the decay in the ivory towers in the country. To me, they're very selfish, and there should be a better way of going about it. A cargo, I took it from Azul, sent that. I like my guest to respond to this, but a cargo, it's okay. You're obviously wrong. I mean, you're factually wrong. All the figures reeled out by my guest. The highest number of those figures has to do with the revitalization, I believe it's what it's called, and that has to do with revamping the infrastructure and as far as the tertiary education in the universities is concerned. Am I right so far, Doc? Hello, Dr. Chima.
Hello, sir.
Yes, I read a comment via WhatsApp just a while ago, and I was saying that that position by the sender is wrong, that ASUU is not just asking for money for itself, but there's something called revitalization that you mentioned a while ago.
You're right, sir. You know, that is where the public get it wrong. ASUU is one, trade union that has the interest of the system at heart. You see, since the last agreement, the 2009 ASUU agreement, the salaries of lecturers have not been increased. That is the truth of the matter. And of course, you can imagine what 1,000 naira could buy in the last 10 or 12 years. 10,000 naira may not be able to buy it now because of inflation. ASUU is fighting for the survival of the public, university system in the country. And like I mentioned earlier, look at this revitalization, fund. If you take UNIPORT, for instance, it was the NIS revitalization fund released in 2013 that they used for the first time to renovate the hostels. Hostels built, decades ago. And now when you also enter the university now, you see that fund is a product of ASUU struggle. And you see it all over. Even the little facilities in terms of, laboratories, even in terms of research grants and all that we can boast of today in the university, as a result of ASUU struggle. And so the struggle is not a selfish one at all. So you're right. You're right by telling the guy that, ASUU does not really fight for what enters, its own pocket, but for the survival of the system.
All right, go to the phone now. Tell you how to welcome.
Yeah, good evening.
Hello, go ahead.
Yeah, the one you go power coverage.
Go ahead.
The problem with federal government is they will syndrome. I've not had them say I am doing it now and they do it. They should not blame us so if they strike tomorrow and on their shoe they should strike. Let government know. Everything they are not taking is serious. Insecurity, academic, everything. Federal government is not taking. I don't know who is responsible or not. I don't know whether we have a system that is working. They should strike. Thank you. God bless you.
All right, you got any thoughts on the matters? Let's hear them as well. Let's see via WhatsApp. That ASUU should please embark on a strike to press home their demands once and for all. We need to have a workable educational system where tertiary institutions will not have a reason to call back their graduates on account of distrust and proffer another test or exam to confirm their grades. It's becoming an embarrassment to strike forever. Turn out quarter-baked graduates and yet expect salaries for idle time, and that's from Bob. Also via WhatsApp, the hello, there's quite a pity that certain commentators don't understand what ASUU is fighting for and tend to overlook the excesses of the government. If you leave government, people would work without getting paid, and yet the government appointees never miss their payments. ASUU should keep up the pressure. The only language the government understands is strike. I've got Israel from Elim on the line. Israel, you're welcome. Go ahead.
Yes, good evening, my brother. the ASUU, for them to embark on another strike again, look as if they are saying play too well something. What makes them to call back the strike the other time? What makes them to call off the strike and they want to embark on another strike? How the same thing will not make them to call back the strike and nothing will be happening. So to me, they are not serious. They should not call on strike again. If they have lived, let them leave it. Because if they are serious, by the time they call off the other strike, they're supposed to be strong and say, let government implement what they are asking for. But small time negotiation, after some time they call back off the strike. Another time negotiation, they go on strike. After some time they call off the strike. It's not very much good with the academic staff of the university, the ASUU. They are not serious. So to me, they should not go on strike again. Because I know after when they go on strike, they will call back the strike again. And nothing will happen. I'm here from the field. Thank you.
Dr. Chima, your response to that?
Anyway, Dayo, I think you had asked this question, before. Divergent opinions. And you can see the same public that is blaming us, for suspending a strike after, so much pressure. And of course, a call from parents and all that and all manner of accusations. They're also the ones. And I think the message is clear. What it means is that if the union is embarking on strike this time, it must remain until, all the demands are met. And I believe the public that time will not also, start blaming the union for it. As a struggle, like I said, it's not selfish. It's not being selfish. That is what people are thinking. Even when you talk about this revitalization fund that comes to the universities, it doesn't come to the union. It comes to the administration, and they're the ones, that use it. So what ASUU is doing is sacrificial. It's a selfless struggle to ensure that, the children of the masses, the common people, will still have access, to education.
All right, well, we have to wrap up the conversation on this note. I do hope that we're able to get it right somewhere or another eventually, so that the ivory towers can go back to, maintaining that status of ivory tower indeed. Well, my guest has been Dr. UD Chima, Chairman ASUU at the University of Port Harcourt. We're discussing ASUU's latest threats of a fresh industrial action. Dr. Chima, wish ASUU, and by extension the entire country, all our students in tertiary institutions and those who will embark on tertiary education in the future, the very best. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
We've got a commercial break coming up right now. The major news about the hour at 6 p.m. Discussions continue afterwards with open season. After the major news, do please stay with us.